A few weeks ago, a wave of comments splashed on the new video I posted, a brand new series, thoroughly soaking my friends and I. Whilst drying off, several comments were brought to my attention that I'd recognized had been floating around for a while. I didn't give it much thought at first. I'd smelled fish like this before, but it never felt like something I wanted to put in my net, you know what I mean? Well, whether I wanted to put it in my net or not, my friends helped me see that it in fact was in my net. And it's time to find out what it is. Huh, not fish, meatloaf. Weird. In order to describe to you what's going on, I found one comment in particular that accurately portrays the scenario. I've paraphrased it slightly so that it reads well for a video. It was a part of a larger conversation, which isn't required to read in order to understand this.
Well, this guy Mortimer is picking apart everything you say and logically destroying spirit science. I want to see a battle of wits. What will win? New Age or high tech? I, for one, am subbed to both in anticipation of the battle.
I'm sure this has happened to you before. As a new vibration is introduced into your reality, you tend to paint a picture of what it looks like or feels like in your head. To me, what it felt like was that all of a sudden I was in a coliseum with this other guy, prepared to take spirit science and me along with it to its grave. Amongst a tower of screaming fans prepared for the battle. That's what this comment was describing, isn't it? So in order to paint a more accurate picture, I have to look and see who this is, what he's creating, and how this all came to be as it is. Right now, ask some questions about it, you know? Let's have a look.
Hi everyone, once again my good friend Zulu Fight Runner has provided me with a bunch of stupid. And not just a single video of stupid, this time he has presented me with an entire channel full of stupid. Thanks, Zulu. The name of the channel is Spirit Science, and with a name like that I hardly need to do anything, do I? Well, I will. Let's have a look at the first video on that channel. Spirit Science 1. Thought.
I get it, Mortimer. I see you. I know why you're creating this series of yours. And to everybody watching in anticipation of the battle, I do know why you want to see this go down. I understand, and I wish I could give you what you want. I'm unwilling to, and please allow me to explain why. Now, sure, I can stand up at the podium behind the mic and say, Mortimer is this and that. I can say all kinds of things about him. I could defend the message of what spirit science is about and throw all manner of insults his way, just as he's done for me. But what would that create? Oh my goodness, it would be a bloodbath. People would entrench up in a battle between supporting spirit science and supporting not spirit science, and they would fight each other, throw fits and tantrums, and ultimately, it would be fueled by a continuing feud that has no ending between two clowns on the internet. I mean, geez, if you thought the console wars were bad, wait till you see what it looks like when people fight for things they believe in that don't actually require fights to prove their worth in the first place. It's not pretty. Look, Mortimer, Serious Unrelated, AZ Trueflow, and whoever else out there has dedicated their time, effort, and energy attempting to destroy my or someone else's creations. I see you. I get where you're coming from, and I understand why you're doing it. And to be honest, I'm a little torn in how to respond. On one hand, you do ask some really good questions, and I'd love to sit down and answer the questions that you have and talk about it with you. You might actually find that we agree in more ways than one, and I think that prospect scares you a bit. On the other hand, I'm not sure if I should even bother responding to your questions. Why? Because they're asked in a way that seems smothered in condescending juices, baked in an oven of vitriol, and delivered on a plate with a side order of jealous potatoes. You called it, Why Do People Laugh at Spirit Science? What kind of response do you really expect to generate from me? This is where I sometimes struggle with compassion. What is the right thing to do here? How do I respond in a way that is loving and kind in response to this half-baked meatloaf? I know that since everyone is going to see this video isn't just about me and these debunkers. It's about all of us. So for everyone, as well as you and me, I'm going to ask the same question you asked in a demonstration of a different, slightly more kinder way of saying it. And then I'm gonna answer it for you. This is what you said in response to lesson 1, in which I described thoughts as if they became manifested right in front of them, saying they were out of visible perception, but there nonetheless.
Okay, let me see if I get this straight. When an inventor has an idea, he places that idea in front of him on some other plane of existence or whatever. And when other people pick up the idea, it's because they, for lack of a better word, see it. It has nothing to do with the inventor talking about it or anything like that, which would be a much simpler explanation. Have you ever heard of Occam's razor? Just putting it out there.
This is how it could have been said.
Hi, Jordan. Let me understand what you mean. When an inventor has an idea, as soon as he thinks of it, it manifests where? In another dimension? Can you explain more about what that means? Further, when other people think of that idea too, it's because they see it. I don't really get it. Does it have anything to do with the inventor talking about it? Can we Occam's razor this down a bit so that it's simpler to understand for everybody? And maybe we can all grow in our understanding of it?
Thank you for asking. That's a really great question, and I'm glad you asked it. I understand how in spirit science, sometimes I try and cover so much that I don't take the time to break down what I meant to say, and everyone interprets my words and ideas differently and in their own way. What I'm trying to describe here is that just as all manner of reality exists at different wavelengths, frequencies, and vibrations, thoughts too are a frequency at which the mind resonates to, and is a receiver and emitter for. Think of it this way. Sound is a vibration, and you tune into it with your ears, and you create it in your belly and throat, and emit it from your mouth. And sometimes your butt.
What's going on?
Visible light is tuned into with your eyes and translated by your brain. In fact, all of the information that your body tunes and is a receptor for is translated and understood through your brain, which doesn't just mean your physical brain, but in the collective brain cells that are throughout your entire body. Not to mention that everything is also filtered and translated by your heart on an even more intimate level. And watch lesson 15 to learn more about that. Or check out the Paradigm Shift series. But I digress. Thoughts are the same thing. They're everywhere. Just as there is a frequency and wavelength that sound travels through, so too do thoughts travel at a much higher frequency, much harder to see with our current technology, but nonetheless there. In fact, if we built a technology that could read and translate thoughts, well, we'd probably have computers that could read our thoughts and do what we tell it to simply by looking at it. Kind of like an Ender's Game. That's the kind of technology I'd love to nurture and grow in my lifetime. Does that help you understand what I meant to say? I hope it does. The fundamental message here is that thoughts are just another way that connects all of us. Another wavelength that we tune into, just like physical reality, our emotional world, the sounds we hear, and the thoughts we think. That's what I'm trying to create. You can insult me or ridicule me, or make videos about how awful of a person I am. You can put on a show about how smart you are. I get it. I did it too. That's cool. You can play that game. I'm going to play a different game. It's a game where everyone wins, and everyone gets everything that they want. It might be a lot harder, but I think that in the end, it'll be well worth it. Martimer, Serious Unrelated, AZ Trueflow, and all of you other guys. I love you all, and I thank you for opening up a space for me to better explain my spirit science videos. There's a lot of stuff that I only even think of because of your responses, and I may not have come to the same conclusions and understandings without you doing what you're doing. I see the courage that it takes to do that. It's not an easy feat. You have my love. Oh, P.S. Last week, I helped my friend Ray craft a message very similar to this. His vibe is so pure and loving, and his response is incredible. If you'd like to see the other side of this coin, please check out that video. I think you'll really get what I'm talking about.